What's up everyone, it's King Gambery here and I'm back with a new YouTube video. I hope you guys enjoy. In this video we're going to be going over some things that Ed Boon tweeted recently on Twitter, and they are really big things to actually pay attention to and focus on as we head into Summer Games Fest tomorrow, which is going to be happening on 3 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be live streamed on YouTube and on Twitch, and it's a gameplay trailer of Mortal Kombat 1, which is the upcoming Mortal Kombat title that is going to be dropping in September 19th. Before we get into today's video, be sure to leave in the comment section down below what are your overall thoughts on Ed Boon's latest tweets, if you have seen them, or what are some things that you look forward to seeing in Mortal Kombat 1. As we get into the video, we're going to take a look at this tweet that Ed tweeted. This was on June 5th at 10:20 p.m. How he said some making their way back into action, and then has the dragon emoji to represent the Mortal Kombat, franchise is what we're taking a look at. And it's interesting that we look at this because this is the Mortal Kombat 4 roster, the Selector Fighter, Mortal Kombat 4 roster, and we see some older characters that we haven't seen in quite some time. And with the tweet saying that some of them are making their way back into action, it definitely is a little eye-opening on who we can expect to return. So we have Kai, we have Raiden, we have Shinnok, we have Liu Kang, we have Reptile, we have Scorpion, we have Jax, we have Raiko, we have Johnny Cage, we have Jarek, we have Tanya, Fusion, Sub-Zero, Quan, and Sonya. And this is really interesting. So obviously we already know from the first trailer that we saw from the Mortal Kombat 1 come out that Raiden is already in the game, Liu Kang's already in the game, Scorpion's in the game, Sub-Zero's in the game, and Johnny Cage on the website has already been confirmed for the game. But the main thing is we 100% don't know if Johnny Cage is going to be main roster or if he's going to be a cameo, which is going to be a new addition to Mortal Kombat 1, where cameos are basically looked at as assist characters to kind of benefit you or kind of help you in a match of each game. So looking at the rest of the roster, we have Kai, we have Shinnok, we have Reptile, we have Jax, we have Rico. I'm probably saying that wrong, but it's probably Raiko, actually. Let me know if I'm saying it wrong or how to pronounce it in the chat. Jarek, Tanya, Fusion, Quan, and Sonya Blade. Which Sonya Blade and Jax are two icons that we already see in the Mortal Kombat franchise. We typically see them every game, we saw them in Mortal Kombat 11, Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 9, Mortal Kombat versus DC. We've seen these two characters to where they've been like a staple into the franchise. So definitely, fan favorites that we're gonna see possibly return. With this tweet, some making their way back into the action. It could be just Ed Boon saying some of these characters that we have seen in the past are just simply gonna return. But that could not be the overall case. What it could be is characters like Kai, Shinnok, who we haven't seen since MKX, Reptile, who we haven't seen since MKX, Raiko, who we haven't seen in quite some time, but we do typically see him in the Mortal Kombat movies, so it definitely makes sense for him to make his return, is how he's been in the Mortal Kombat movies, and it's definitely been a fan-ass character. A lot of people have been asking for him to come back, and I feel like with Mortal Kombat 1, it being a whole new direction that they're going at, kind of a new reset. I mean, who knows? This is possibly the chance that we can kind of see him return back into action, like Ed Boon tweets. Jarek, who we haven't people don't know really who Jarek or Kai really are. We haven't seen them in forever as far as being in the Mortal Kombat games. So for them to return is actually really, I would say, interesting, because it's definitely two characters that haven't really been on people's radar. When you ask a lot of people hey, who would you like to return for the next upcoming Mortal Kombat, obviously you're gonna have characters like Quan Chi, Shang Tsung, who is already confirmed as DLC for the game, Reptile, who's on this roster of Mortal Kombat 4, Smoke, and then you think about the 3D characters, Li Mei, Havoc, Ashra, there are a lot of characters that people have been asking for, but when mentioned, you don't typically see Jarek or Kai, and you don't really know unless you're like an overall like diehard fan of the Mortal Kombat lore, then there's not like too much to really like know about them because we haven't seen them in quite some time. So it's definitely really interesting that we will, it's just all speculation. What does Ed mean by some making their way into action? Not only that, but who is making their way back into action? As we look at this Mortal Kombat 4, image, and we just have to, just take a guess on who we could potentially see. Now, with the Summer Games Fest trailer happening tomorrow, this is definitely going to be a lot of eyes, focusing on that trailer, because not only that is it going to show the gameplay, but potentially we could see someone else from this roster, return or be in that gameplay trailer. If my guess, taking a guess on who out of all of these characters that we could potentially see, I think it's Reptile. I think Reptile is, a great fan staple of the game. One of the ninjas to look at. And it's really interesting. Reptile has like a unique, character trait or unique role that he plays in the Mortal Kombat scene, in the story mode. So it's definitely going to be interesting. That is my pick. I want to know who y'all's pick is in the comment section. Also, on out of all of these who are not already confirmed, who is the character that you think the most is going to be seen in tomorrow's Summer Games Fest trailer? But not only that, let's finish off how we have Tanya, who was a DLC in Mortal Kombat X, and she was really played, and she's also another fan favorite. Female character, a lot of females, when we think about the female characters, we think of Katana, we think of Melina, we think of, Sonya Blade. We think, there's a lot of other characters that we think of, and Tanya, Jade, and she is another like character that has such a unique personality, unique character trait to the whole Mortal Kombat story mode. So it definitely would make sense if we get to see her return. Her being such an ass character, see her return for Mortal Kombat 1. And then Fusion, who we actually saw in Mortal Kombat 11, we saw his return after so many years. It definitely, I could see him, being in the story mode also, because of Raiden, and we saw from the first trailer that Raiden doesn't really have his powers anymore. He doesn't have the, the Thunder God powers. It's all transferred over to Liu Kang. So it's definitely going to show, like, how does Raiden, in the story mode, develop his powers in this upcoming Mortal Kombat 1. Same thing for Fusion, or that just goes for overall characters. Because, Kung Lao, we don't see his buzzsaw in, the trailer, the first trailer, as we saw that Liu Kang's overall direction is to bring peace. But with the whole, Shang Tsung, bringing chaos and violence, performing fatalities on, the characters in the trailer, I feel like that's going to be some sort of a development process to how these characters are going to be able to gain their powers in the story mode. So Fusion is another character, how he's got the wind god powers, and, it's definitely going to be where possibly in the beginning we won't see him have his powers, but as, time goes on in the story mode, we might see it develop by then. And Quan Chi. So Quan Chi, when you think about Quan Chi, he's definitely been one of the overall, like, a lot of people love Quan Chi as he is, like, a big favorite in the whole Mortal Kombat series. Like, Quan Chi has definitely been, in numerous Mortal Kombat titles, and he's definitely had some unique fatalities as well. MKX, he had some really cool fatalities. Mortal Kombat 9, he has the famous, leg beat fatality, which is the same fatality that they brought back, actually, from Mortal Kombat 4. So definitely interesting, as we could potentially see him. But the thing is that I like to think about, and, people have, the speculation of, Gamber, what do you think about, like Shinnok and like Shang Tsung and Quan Chi? Do you think that they had the potential shot to be all listed into one game? And I think it's possible too. Shinnok and Shang Tsung, kind of with the Hell Sparks, or just, the moves set in general is really similar. However, with this Mortal Kombat 1, they could be just taking an overall different direction. And, it could be a different moveset for these characters. So I definitely think that it is possible for, like, characters like Shinnok and Shang Tsung to still, like, be in the same game. And then having, like, another, like, quote-unquote villain looked at as Quan Chi could definitely be another, addition that they could make into this game. So really interesting to really keep in mind. I definitely think that, out of all of these characters, we might see a strong chance for like 2 or 3 of them to return. Who knows? We won't really know until we get more like gameplay trailers or more like character reveals. But if I am going to take my overall guess, I do think that tomorrow we will be seeing at the Summer Games Fest a first glimpse at Reptile. But I don't want to get only into that. I want to go over a little bit more of like Ed's tweets lately, because they're pretty big and they're pretty important. I feel like it needs to be covered. And this is another tweet that we saw. So Jeff Knightley tweeted that Ed Boon is about to blow the roof off the YouTube theater on Thursday because it is the Summer Games Fest. And I will remind y'all, it is happening at 3 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and on Twitch. But Ed quotes the tweet by Jeff and says that cameos, combos, and breakers, and then says, "Oh my," with a little gif. So we already knew that the cameos, the combos, they're going to be in the game. Like, obviously the cameos is the whole, the assist characters. They're going to be happening. We're going to see combos. I mean, we're so used to seeing combos. It's really expected. But breakers is super interesting to point out. We haven't seen breakers since MKX. In MK11, we got breakaway, and it was a system that, NRS had tried for the first time. And there was a lot of complaints on breakaway, whether it be the input itself, like getting accidental breakaways, or, even pointing out, like, oh, if they break away from a combo, which, shouldn't happen, then they're able to, punish you for trying to go for a combo. So, in a sense, you lose your turn. There's all mind games to it. Excuse me. But breakers is interesting. Breakers is what we saw in Mortal Kombat X. And it's one of the mechanics where you're able to break out of a combo and it resets neutral between your opponent. And you had to spend bars and stamina to really perform a breaker. So I'm really curious onto if it's going to be played the same mechanic as MKX. And even, it was also in MK9. So I'm really curious to see, the whole breakers. I hope that it's something that we're able to see in the gameplay trailer tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe, it's just like Ed being a troll and hinting something, and we won't really see it until later on. But definitely something to keep in mind, because this tweet was on June 5th. So all these tweets have been very recent lately, and especially with the upcoming gameplay trailer that we're going to see with Mortal Kombat 1 at Summer Games Fest, we have to think about, the potential, all the characters, and what we could actually, glimpse and get a visual of what to expect for tomorrow. And I wanted to make this video to kind of have a little prediction on what we could possibly see for tomorrow. But last thing is taking a look at the Summer Games Fest, which Ed Boon just has coming soon. With the dragon, of course, it's a Mortal Kombat. It's definitely been basically the big premiere, world premiere, as you can see from the little trailer, or not trailer, but little short video that we have on Twitter, how it's streaming live at 3 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on, well, it says summergamesfest.com, but I imagine that you're going to have multiple streamers on Twitch and on YouTube streaming it. And this is basically going to be the grand finale, I would say. So I wouldn't, if you're going into watching Summer Games Fest, don't expect it to happen right away at 3 p.m. Eastern, okay? I think that this is going to be a long event. They're going to be showing a lot of things, and I feel like this is going to be left for the grand finale because, Jeff Knightley, who is in charge of Summer Games Fest, has been tweeting it also. Ed Boon has been tweeting it. All of the developers have been tweeting it. So it's definitely something, it's big, right? Because Mortal Kombat is a big franchise. And, when they're at an event or whatnot, you have to imagine that it is going to be something special to be looking into and looking forward to. As I know, a lot of eyes, not only in the Mortal Kombat community, but outside just the fighting game community, or even just the casual community as well, is going to be having their eyes on. So, out of all these tweets, I want to know in the comment section down below, what are you most excited about? Whether it's a new character, that we could potentially see upcoming. Who's a character that you would like to see in the future return that we haven't seen in quite some times? What are your opinions on breakers returning? And let me know also just simply if you're going to be checking out the Summer Games Fest. And I will be doing a reaction video, and I will be uploading that on YouTube. And I can't wait to share with you guys my live reaction. But that is going to do it for this YouTube video. Just a short video. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.